Ladies and gentlemen of the Fellowship, I give you the Sunday Culture Review live on July 24th at, well, I guess it's 11 a.m. California time. Is that easier? West Coast? Yeah, there you go. And I want to say thanks and welcome to everybody here. I do appreciate all of you that are in the audience and those of you who arrive or watch later on the replay. Thanks for joining us as well. We've got a lot to talk about. We don't have a whole lot of time to do it in, and we have some familiar faces that haven't been here in a while. Let's start first with the man of many talents. Well, or at least one big talent, or he's got talent. Let's just put it that way. We have our own Makini Draws. What's up, Mak?
I want to say before we get started, thank you. I am officially under 50 away, 45 away from 1K, and this is too much to kind of fathom right now how close I am. And I told myself there, like, I don't know how I would feel if we somehow crossed over that finish line before the 2-year anniversary next month.
You got this, man.
This is amazing. This is truly, truly amazing. And I am truly blessed to have an amazing group of people I can call friends and amazing support. You guys are incredible. So yeah, we are at 955 subs. I'm very excited about that. This week, today, I am pushing Makini Live back about an hour or so because we have special guest, the lovely Arwen Avalon, returning. So I am going to be very happy and going to prep something special for her, as what you can see right now. Sorry, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. So onwards and upwards. Let's keep it going. So,
very good. And yeah, indeed. And congratulations on that. Let's see if we can get you some of those subs that you need from our very own audience. If you guys haven't checked out Makini Draws, please do. Maybe we can get him over 1,000 here in the next 48 hours. That would be amazing. Of course, we've got next to him one of our returning guests. Hasn't been here in a while. Has had other things in life come up and try to change around the way that you do things. But anyway, good to see you here. Thanks, Storyman Jack, for joining us.
As you guys know, I write stories and I put them on YouTube. Back in my house, got my own office. 60 grand, and 6 months later, after one room caught fire. But everything's going great, and Makini, you deserve every bit of success.
Thank you, man.
Can't wait to see your 1,000 member stream.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Storyman, for being here and for all that you do. Cannot wait for Halloween when everybody gets to see your Halloween stories. That's going to.
I've already got about. I think I've got at least half of them written.
Oh.
None of them are recorded yet, but I've got a list of 35 stories. So
you're good to go. You're good for the Halloween season, and we all could use a little Halloweeny. Let's see. Right below Storyman Jack is the amazing AFK Bard, who's been on the panel almost as long as Wes. How's it going, AFK?
Hi. It's going pretty good. I'm getting my gaming computer fixed, and it'll hopefully be done at some point next week. So I'll actually be able to do stuff on a computer again instead of my phone and TV. So I'm excited for that because I'll be able to stream.
I have to say, your voice quality today is awesome.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
That sounds great.
I don't know how, Just lucked out.
Yeah, there you go. A high quality phone signal right now. But thanks for joining us, AFK. I appreciate it. Can't wait for you to get your computer fixed, and can't wait for more content.
Yeah, me too.
Of course, right next to AFK is Wes, my good buddy. Been on my stream since the day one. How you doing, Wes?
I'm doing great. Always a pleasure to be here on the Sunday Culture Review, and I'm looking forward to talking about how New Trek sucks and Shatner and all that good stuff. But I do just want to encourage everybody. Let's try and get Machini to 1K before the Sunday Culture Review is over, because he really deserves it.
No.
In fact, to that end, I think you actually sent a super chat. Did you not? I think
I did. And I abused my mod privileges by putting the link in too.
It's okay. I think it's awesome. So let's get Machini draws to 1K for $5. Thanks, Wes. I appreciate it, buddy. And yes, let's get my man to 1K. Let's do that. We can do it.
God, now I noticed the typo. Jesus.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Okay.
He needs to scream about the end of this stream when he hits 1K. So
that would be really cool.
I said I'm gonna be in tears if that happens, and I'm probably gonna have to do a face reveal if that happens.
there we go.
Do it on your own channel. Bring
Exactly.
All right.
Waterproof ink that day.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, cover everything in plastic. But of course, thank you for that, Wes. You're awesome. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Would have done that for free, by the way. And then, of course, our good friend, the Shellman, Shellback TJC.
Good morning, YouTube. Yes, let's get Machini. Let's get Machini to that 1K mark, so then I can unsub and bring him back down to $9.99, and then sub and then bring him up to 1K, and then back down to $9.99.
Hey, YouTube does that. YouTube does that.
Please allow me to have my petty fun.
I will block. If you pull that off for real, I will block you.
YouTube
will block you.
You don't need to do that. YouTube does it on purpose. I made it to 4K and then not so much, and then I made it to 4K and then not so much. So they do it for you, man.
I know a few people who hit 1K like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I was at 1K. No, I'm not. I was at 1K. No, I'm not.
You could be like Nick Weiser, where he hits 1K and then drops 1K, but still gets monetized anyway.
It was insane. How did that happen?
I don't know. It's like, you know what? You already hit it. Why not? Just monetize it.
That's right. He did it once. Just do it again. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
But he's Nick, okay?
And I have to send a huge congratulations to my brother Fat Steven for getting remonetized again. And he's over 5K, so
yeah, Fat Steven's killing it, so we're happy for the man there.
Glad he needed to be able to make money.
Yeah, he did. Dr. Dragon's in the house. Good to see it. We got Sander Hammerslag here. We've got our good friend Captain Fandom Nerd. We've got Dave G Sound in the house as well. Sean Estep, and of course Shellback. He's on the panel. We got Liger Fan with us. Trap 3D. We've got our good buddy Keith Howard. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. We've got the Tomb of Dracula and the Monster Squad. I have AVI that I love. We've got Joker Voice out there. Good to see you. We got to keep talking, my friend. We got D-Bud Martin here. Emotionally Unstable Amphibian is joining us as well. We've got, of course, Wes is here. We got Storyman here. We got the Common Nerd here. Check out the Common Nerd, everybody. And of course,
we also got Judicon.
That's right. Judicon is in the house. That's right. Judicon. I do that every day during the 6-minute deal. It's so much fun. Got certain names that are just awesome to say. We got Trav 101 out there checking in from the UK. Good to see you, my friend. We got Keely Chow. Roll Tide, buddy. Oh, a little bit of cleanup business here. Unfortunately, I think because Lorena has family in town, we aren't going to have a Welcome to Florida stream tonight. But it'll return the following Sunday with an amazing story you are not going to want to miss. So we have something locked and loaded for the following Sunday. So please join us in the next month in August for an amazing Florida stories. We got Dragon Master out there. We got Trinoculus P. Got a few other folks rolling in. You guys are killing it. Thanks for being here, folks, and for sharing out the stream and for supporting the channels that you do, all of the channels that are here. We got Rob Altus with us. We got Mariella Newworth with us. Good to see you. There's the Toxic Man Flu. He needs a nap. My voice puts Toxic Man Flu to sleep, and that's why he loves streaming with me. We've got OC Dobbins in the house. We've got a few other folks here. We got the Gilk man. Look at it. What's
Hey,
up?
there's
Thomas?
Thomas.
Yeah, and we already did the Judicon, but we'll do it again. Judicon. Common Nerd said you're at 956 now. They're mocking.
Don't go, guys! Don't do this! Don't do this! Not here!
It will be. It will be in front of you.
We could see that finish line in the distance.
I'm gonna keep watching your channel, Matt.
There you go.
Oh, yes.
We got D Bud Martin in the house. There's a lot of folks out here. Bush McFadden is here. We got Release the McCracken from the Legion of Memers. We got a huge memer crowd. Let me tell you. We've got Kitty Bear out there. Good to see you, my friend. Who else? We got more folks. Toxic Man flew for $5. Says it's the weave of sleep. All hail CultureCasino. Well done there, Tox. And of course, we've got our buddy Mexican Iron Man for $5 saying, hey, Culture loses subs, then gains subs, and loses subs. If only we had more member streams, and maybe, just maybe, LOL. Actually,
Mike,
Monday or Tuesday. I told you this. I said it on Friday. I'm saying it again on Sunday. Check your community tab. You might learn about a member stream sometime after today's show. You don't know.
Mike, I'm still waiting for you to come on Mock Me Live. Come on, Mike. I'm still waiting for that Sunday. Come on, Mike. We've been waiting. We're anticipating. Come on.
This is a really interesting question from Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. Did Jerry Bruckheimer want national treasure? He must have. I don't know, man. And talk about just letting that thing die, just because that's what he's doing. He's killing that thing off. I mean, if you guys seen any of it, it's just anyway. Sean Landergan's out here. We've got a few other folks, including Lonnie Holcomb here. Good to see you. Yeah, more member streams. We'll be doing another one. This will be the second one this month, folks. I'm giving you two. Well, also, I'm giving you two because we had so many members that were gifted subs by so many great folks out there in the chat. They were so thank you for all being there, and we'll give you one more member stream. All right. Well, we've got a lot to talk about. If I missed you, it wasn't on purpose. I want to say thank you to all of you for being here. I think I got all of the super chats. If there was a member chat I missed, I apologize. But
and by the way, Machini's at 962.
No, stop.
Can we add a little disclaimer?
Okay.
No, please don't, guys. Please don't do this.
That's right.
I just want to say if everyone in the chat created, you account and then subbed to Machini.
Wes, let's not do that, please.
Yeah,
That's bad. That's bad.
That's very, very bad. Very, very bad.
Okay, so one thing I think that a lot of people forget to mention, and I figure it's a good idea, is that people can't gift subs to people unless they have these, like, it's selected. There's like settings y'all need to go into. Just like a heads up, so you can get a free sub once in a while. Because it's not like an automatic thing. It's the same for like when you raid channels. Like those channels have to have something set up ahead of time. It's really frustrating. But I'd say check all your settings to make sure that you get as much benefit as you can.
That's right. And I believe I just updated. I just updated Wes Moody's confirmation sub in the chat, so that should now be good. So you should be able to get that to auto confirm. I'm gonna fix. Wow, I'm doing a lot of housekeeping back here. You guys just entertain the crowd, okay? Hang on.
Sorry about it. I'll try not to get this one nuked.
Guys, don't.
That gets inconvenient after a while.
All right, so now I even put an auto sub on Machini. So if you're not subbed and you click on the link, it'll automatically ask if you want to sub. So
oh boy,
I removed a step.
If you do this on Machini Live today with Arwen in attendance, I'm just gonna lose it.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna love it. And
964.
She'll be
no.
Does Jalf thinks that I miss him on purpose because of the name? It's not donkey hate. We're good. I like Jalf. We got Willie out there too. So what's up, Willie? All right, let's do this. We have stuff to cover, so let's cover it. Let's start with Comic-Con. You guys want to start with Comic-Con?
Sure.
Wait, Comic-Con? Yeah. Wait, Comic-Con has happened? I don't.
Yeah, we just had it. We kind of.
Really?
I mean, it's still going on technically.
So was everyone in masks? Because apparently it was in California.
It was a masked Comic-Con. It was.
Yeah, they're requiring that and proof of the medical procedure that shall not be named.
Ah.
Jam.
Well, I know it's still a different country compared to where I live now. So
it seems like it. Yeah, there's a lot of that. But
I live in that little island of libertarianism in California.
Well, that's good for you, my friend. Not a lot of that. We got Tina. Good to see you. Oh, and there's Micah J saying Comic Con. Yeah, I know. That's right. Okay, so the big deal obviously was that we didn't get Superman, right? Even though that had been heavily hinted at, right, by everybody. It was
what exactly did they pay JJ for if they're not getting a Superman?
Yeah, what's the point?
I don't know. All I know is this: we did get the Black Adam presentation. We got some introductions of some characters nobody knows. And some other things. Of course, that also happened with Marvel, and that's where I want to focus our energy today. Wait, very quickly, we got another super chat from our good friend, your Muslim uncle. It's a VIP super chat, would mean
Assalamu alaikum.
Uncle's a member. That's right. Assalamu alaikum, my friend. It says petition to change Spider-Man's parents' names to the original TV show, Sarah and Eben or Kent. In fact, let's add changing Culture's name to Eben too. Okay. Sounds good.
Eben's not a bad sound.
Not so might be
Eben Casino.
Eben Casino. Eben Flow. I like that. Eben Flow. Speaking
of was
Flow,
that the Kent parents in the original 50s TV show or black and white?
I thought it was the short-lived Spider-Man in the 70s, early 80s. Was it 78?
I think he said Superman, but
I thought his parents were Mary and Richard. Am I wrong?
Why did I do that? I put Spider-Man where Superman's name was. What was there?
Okay, that makes more sense. So you're talking about Superman, not Spider-Man.
Yeah. There's something wrong with me right now. I have I have no brain. So
no, that's clearly a what if.
Well,
what if Spider-Man was raised as the Kents?
That was weird.
Yeah, growing up, Spider-Man was my favorite superhero of all time. I had a T-shirt my mom eventually had to throw away because it was so small. I wore it for years. So every time I see an S and it's in relation to superhero, I tend to transpose Spider-Man on there.
Yeah, I think it's because I probably own more Spider-Man comic books than I do Superman books. But
I always thought he was more interesting.
Yeah,
Superman's a lot more interesting.
Okay. James Villanueva says, okay, now sub to all channels in the description. Awesome. And I did add the little question mark confirmation ad thing. So when you click on it, it should automatically say, are you sure you want to subscribe? So, yep. Still no Dread too. That's a sore spot. But you know what? I don't want to set the DC thing aside because to be honest with you, they didn't talk about anything I care about at all.
Really.
But what is interesting is I don't think anybody cares about this, to be honest with you. I tell me the truth. When you look at the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe films with the multiverse saga listed in order through phases 5 and 6, do any of these things blow up your skirt, so to speak, right?
I am incredibly disappointed.
like standing over greater like Marilyn Monroe kind of blow up your skirt? No.
Yeah.
No.
So
it's very underwhelming.
Yeah.
It'd be more like blowing up my kilt, a very cold wind.
Oh, well, I mean, sometimes on a hot day, you'd like a cold breeze.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to relate what people have told me about. Now, I've now, just so that I knew what I was talking about, I went and watched The Eternals. I went and watched Shang-Chi. I went and watched Thor: Love and Thunder. They're phoning it in. It's like they're not even trying to write well. It's like, let's just throw a bunch of jokes together and see what comes out.
What lands, yeah, and nothing has been. I mean, the Thor thing, nothing landed.
There was a couple of scenes that I thought, oh, that's cool, and then they ruined it.
I have now seen all the clips of all of the supposedly comedic moments in the film, and there are a lot of them. None of them, even out absent context, are funny. It's just bad. And again, Joker Voice renames it Phase Barely Alive instead of 5, and Phase 6 Feet Under. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
The best part about Thor: Love and Thunder is that Mighty Thor went to Valhalla, and the rules of Valhalla are this: if you die and go to Valhalla, you cannot return to Earth until
right.
everybody who knew you is gone.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
Jane Foster is completely gone forever.
Unless
Thor, everybody she knows dies.
Yeah, and theoretically that happened during the snap, right? Oh, hey. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
JT's here. JT Gunn says, "I'm interested in Shazam 2. This is that's about it. Maybe Black Panther 2. Yeah, I don't know, JT. I mean, check out JT Gunn, the channel over there. Get the late night with Cap going on. Do check that out, folks.
Listen, I've stuck. I will stick my ground to this, and you can call it a boycott, whatever you use, but I refuse to watch any DC EU or extended universe film as long as that creep is still employed."
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm standing my ground on that.
Wasn't WB stupid trending the other day?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. But Tina, if they actually use the What If Moon Knight episode to actually give us the actual Moon Knight, that the definitive Moon Knight, not the new updated Moon Knight, then I would be thrilled.
Now, I will say this: I don't know much about Moon Knight history. I don't know the story or anything. What I saw of the Moon Knight was a good show. I just didn't understand the background. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I never read the comments.
It's so true. I think I'm in the boat where it's like I don't know these characters and I'm not interested to find out about them. And so like looking at the list, is actually incredibly disappointing versus like being surprised way back in the day when they announced a movie. Because looking at it the next like 3 years or whatever, I am completely disinterested in everything that they have. Like there's no drive for me to want to watch it. And so now I'm like, well, I guess I don't care about Marvel for a while.
Well, a good example of that is Blade. We have the epitome of Blade. We don't need another one. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Albert Wesker in the Netflix Resident Evil.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I haven't even tried to watch that. I haven't even tried. Now, see, I have to use other people's accounts because I won't spend money on Disney or Netflix or any of that stuff. I spend my money on Timcast and on Daily Wire. Yeah. That's what I spend my money on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are in that same boat. I mean, and I have access to the content without paying for it, so it is what it is. But
I would say because watching his pain for us is kind of more entertaining than actually watching.
Yeah. Speaking of the motivations behind these things, you got Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2 saying Marvel after Infinity War is just money laundering. Yeah,
it's just seems that way. Every time when you look, and I think we're going to get to the lineup next, right? Well, all I'll say is looking at this lineup makes me happy that I left after Endgame. Or No Way Home was the end for me. I am more and more. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, you probably saved yourself a lot of pain, right? I mean,
I saw it coming from a mile away. I knew where this was going to go. So yeah.
So my son.
Go ahead.
My son is typical. He's like, "Oh, it's fine. I don't like this, but it's fine." I'm like, the problem is that you grew up with bad entertainment.
Yeah.
So this is just fine. Go back with me and let's watch some shit from the 80s.
Yeah.
And I'll show you what good entertainment is. And the sad part is that all these people out there making this stuff made shit in the 80s and they know how to do it right.
They do. A lot of people, anyway. The new crew, not so much. In fact, one of the stories that you're going to get from me this week on video, in fact, I think it might actually be tomorrow. Tomorrow's video is going to be heavily weighted on what's happening with the writers and what we may not have in the future. So keep your eyeballs peeled for that tomorrow, because there is definitely a changing of the guards happening in these writers' rooms, and there are going to be there are already financial repercussions, and we're looking at a possible writer strike again by the end of next year.
I mean, they're not writing now, so.
Well, yeah.
As a writer, I can say that. I'm not even a great writer, but I can say that. They're not doing well.
I'm right there with you.
Let me give you an example of great writing, right? Nikki D for $5 says, confession time. I watched Top Gun Maverick again. Good for you. Loved it just as much as the first time. Zero interest in MCU or DCEU after watching San Diego Comic-Con. Wow. Yeah. Top Gun Maverick, excellent writing.
Well, it's
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. All these studios need to do is listen to the fans.
No.
Top Gun, they took the fans into account. Great movie. I loved it. I came home and watched the original right after I saw it.
Oh,
and then, man, he lined this up great.
Perfect.
Plus, the problem really is you can have good writers on both sides, but the difference is that the normal, or what is ideal now, is they have a pre-made toolkit and they're limited to what's inside it. And Top Gun, he bought his own toolkit. He had enough backing to basically have the tools he needed to make something epic and not be restricted by what he was forced to use. You know what I mean?
And the fact that he said that he would not do this without Val Kilmer at least showing up was a great thing.
Yeah. He was I ordered that tool and I'm not going to start building until I get it.
Yep.
Well, yeah. And speaking of which, I have just noticed that there was somebody in the chat that says the thumbnail is clickbait. Well, let's look at that.
Hey, it worked. You're here, right?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had a chance to get to a lot of this. We are kind of talking about the MCU.
We talked about Shatner and talked about Mighty Thor
well,
too.
Don't forget the Muskinator.
We'll get there. I promise. We're gonna hit everything we can. There's no. I try not to be clickbaity. Clickbaity. Didn't sound good. Let's see who else is out here in the universe. We got. Oh wait, I forgot to mention that Jace Fox has been here for 3 months. What's up?
Yay!
Let's see. All right. So Tina Guzman is here. I saw that. We have Adam Ledgeway saying the MCU is on its deathbed. Where do you go after multiverse saga? Kang, Secret Wars, and Secret Invasion. That's kind of all they've got.
Wasn't this all a Kang's plan? As Gary always says, this is all part of Kang's plan.
Oh yeah. It's definitely Kang. Yeah. For $5, our buddy Judicon says, hello, Culture Casino. I'm somewhat interested in the new Daredevil show, only to see how inferior it'll be compared to the Netflix version. Wow. I'm interested in the show. I want it to be as good as the Netflix version. I think one of the best pieces of television was the first seasons in particular of
the first two, I think.
Well, 2 was good too. Yeah, I agree. I liked The Punisher, but I'm weird. I mean, a lot of people
I like The Punisher too, but to me, it was just action. I like the action. I like the guns in the 80s, Commando, Rambo. I'm gonna strap on and go after them. That's the old school adventure movie,
Yeah. Is the Netflix series gonna stay canon, or are they gonna pretend this is a semi AU version of him?
That's okay.
Didn't they consult when they made it because it was right after the attack on New York?
I don't know. I can't
remember. I know they referenced the attack on New York several times.
Right.
And the Avengers.
We'll have to see where it all lands, to be honest with you. But I want it to be good. You know what? Real quick, let's get to what our super chat here from the Gilk Man for $9.99. Thank you, Thomas. Wow. He says, my thoughts is that Marvel has done good things and bad things. Mm-hmm. I'm intrigued for some of the things like Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars, and King Dynasty. But then again, I enjoy a lot of stuff from Disney Marvel. Hey, I'm not going to yuck your yum, man. But
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm only here to speak to what interests me, what doesn't interest me, what my thoughts are around it. So,
and that goes double to Tina in the chat as well.
Yeah. Well, and look, I mean, there's like, okay, so let's go through the list. I'll let, because we always stop short of getting through things because we start chatting away. So since Thomas is here and he's got his super chat on the screen. So last thing in phase 4, of course, is Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is November 11th. Are you guys going to see this? Did you see the trailer? Did you like the trailer?
Is there a trailer?
I'm gonna go see
Yeah, is
it.
there a trailer?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go see it.
To me, the trailer was like a funeral procession the entire time. It was just, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, think of it like going to a funeral service.
Yeah, it was depressing, and
It was a little rough.
yeah.
I'm honestly, there are certain elements to it that do sound interesting to me, but I'm really not happy about I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's like been confirmed about the Ironheart part, but if it's a thing, I'm definitely not okay with that because it definitely feels like it would be shoot in.
What, her inclusion? Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like why she would be in the first place kind of issue for me.
Right.
Like not just like I hope it's not as flat as hey, it's another black superhero, let's put her in, because that would just be terrible if that was actually the reasoning. But I think it's more of the lines of like two smart characters put together, I don't know. It just bugs me because Ironheart already bugs me on a just a level of how she was created. But at least that she did it by herself. She didn't randomly go to Wakanda and hang out with somebody.
Well, AFK, remember she kind of stole his armor.
Well, no, but I mean, she was working on, she was stealing it herself versus that's
also she begged her elementary school teacher to be racist towards her as well.
Yeah. I'm not saying she's a good character.
She's a sociopath. She is a narcissistic sociopath.
I'm not even, the television products are here on the screen, but I want to go through just the cinema stuff. Okay, so we have, so this is phase 5, everybody. Ready?
All right.
Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. Don't care. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I do care. I hope it's good. The Marvels. Don't care. Blade. Worried.
Yes, very.
Untitled Marvel movie, which I think is Nova. The
Nova Corps.
Yeah, the Nova. Yeah, the Nova. Well, Nova, the superhero Nova.
Yeah.
And then Captain America: New World Order with Falcon Cap.
Whew.
And Thunderbolts.
What the heck is Thunderbolts?
So that deals with, if you guys remember, Thunderbolt Ross, played by, he just passed away this year, but it deals with his character Thunderbolt Ross and a team.
Oh, General Ross. Okay.
Yeah, General Ross. It deals with also his team, the Thunderbolts, which I think it also includes Squirrel Girl and a few other characters in there. And Thunderbolt Ross. Well, and also something to think about is something to remember is Thunderbolt Ross. He becomes Red Hulk in the comics as well. So.
That does sound kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So Liam Hart passed away?
So Captain America: New World Order. That looks interesting. Is he going to go in and try and get another mortgage without having documentable income and blame it on racism again? That what's going to happen?
Wes, you got to do better. Come on.
I know. Silly me. Mortgage companies don't like to lend when you don't have proof of income. I know. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so a lot of it's going to depend on who the Thunderbolts are made up of, right? Whether you have, the new Black Widow,
likely,
and some of these other characters, that they've kind of ancillarily introduced in the television show. But anyway, so that's your phase 5. Oh my goodness, Judas Goat Barbecue just gifted 5 Culture Casino memberships to the chat. We have just added the Gilk Man, Mariella Newworth. We've added Mr. Butt Crack Media, Jose Abella, and Dash Attack. Congratulations and thank you, Judas Goat Barbecue,
I
for
believe
the
we have somebody in the back room.
contributions. And I think you're right. I just noticed that. I didn't hear the entry. We have Justice Segal.
Oh my God. Can I jump in on this Marvel thing as he takes it away? Because he wants to
go for it, man. It's all yours.
Can we talk about the Deadline exclusive article of how they've made they turned Ant-Man into Thor? They gave him the same character style. Isn't it throughout the movies he's done everything to make sure he can be with his daughter, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And now they've turned it into, I have to chase clout. I wrote a book. And all of my family, since the snap and everything that's gone back to normal, is now non-complacent. This is what they're doing. Did anyone else feel this? Like, he was like, you turned it into another Batnips.
They completed Ant-Man's arc in Endgame, and that's one thing I actually did like.
Oh, and for the New World Order, that is, I think, a signal flare for Disney Marvel telling everyone that the New World Order is the crap we're going to continue to make.
So alternatively, it's going to be called Captain America 1984, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Avengers Academy leaked picture of who the cast is going to be and what young characters they're using as well?
No.
Oh, buddy.
You're just like the harbinger.
I came in there right to Marvel. And the Wakanda poster, that's Daredevil, right? They're trying to sneak in Daredevil. Did I scare someone away? I'm sorry.
No. What? Who? Who's here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We watched Tail drop.
Oh, we watched Tail.
But they did bring Daredevil in for Wakanda at the end, right? For the trailer, that was Daredevil with the 2 sticks. No, Wakanda. She-Hulk, not Wakanda. She-Hulk. And is that how they're going to introduce him? Because I know that he's also getting a series in there, and they're bringing back Charlie Cox. But
it would make sense to have Daredevil in there just because she's an attorney, isn't she?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because what I think what's happening is we're getting Daredevil late, as well as the Marvel Zombies is also coming. But because they also have the Deadpool property, they have now created a rated R area within Disney Marvel. So the forefront is Disney Marvel's. We got the Marvel Zombies. Iron, I believe, Daredevil's could probably give you another one, and there's one more, because of Deadpool, because they need to keep that rated R.
Right.
But Ironheart's going to be a joke, though, because how is it if Ironheart is is going to be in Wakanda forever? Why is she getting something later on? Is that going to be it doesn't make sense, because you're introducing her there, and her original story is her suits can be built out of car parts. Wakanda upgrades it.
Yeah, and it's tech that she actually stole from.
So are they going to they're back and tell her backstory?
I think the comics was the stealing, right, Mac? But for the
stealing.
For Wakanda, I don't think they're doing any stealing. I think she's literally going to build her first suit out of car parts. That's why she has such a similarity to a Transformer / Samus / GoBot kind of look, right? Because you've seen the concept arts.
Yeah.
So how are they going to introduce? What is her series going to be about? How she failed everyone in Wakanda? I don't understand how this is all working, because they went up to stage 7 in this, right?
Yeah, phase 7. This is
sorry, I got off on a tangent, but I'm not really excited for this, because nobody has asked for this. Season 2 of Loki is already filming. There's already videos out there of everyone going on. There's still no announcement of Agents of Atlas. I thought that would at least be in here in the phases, wouldn't it? Because that's supposedly still in production.
Yeah, Agents of Atlas, that's going to include, because there are already talks about bringing in Cindy Moon, Silk, in next, which is.
And one more question. Sorry, Culture. Is Blade going to be under a rated R system, or is it going to be under the rated?
I think it's going to have to be. I think you're going to. Some of these superheroes, in order to tell their stories, I mean, they're pretty rough. You know, but look, I'm not excited for either cinema nor the television products. But and the problem is we got a lot to cover today.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I would love to dive into it. It's just, look, beyond phase 5. This is fantasy world. This phase 6. I think when you start to see like Quantum Media, when it comes out and it underperforms, and the Marvels come out and it doesn't perform, and the potential for Blade to underperform, I mean, you're going to have people looking at Disney going, try again, reload.
I have two
go ahead.
pictures to show you. First of all, if you want me to share it,
Sure,
first
sure.
is supposedly
Yeah.
the Avengers Academy from where I get my leaks. I'll put that right there. And while you're looking at that, that's supposedly the Avengers Academy. But I'm going to get something else, and this is actually Marvel's already trademarked all these properties, and it's somewhere around here. That's supposedly the Avengers Academy, and that's what probably the cast is going to look like. If you have it up there.
Oh yeah.
there it is. I see it.
Warning: if no one wants to see leaks, turn
Oh.
away.
Oh, it's not really leaks. It's because
Oh, okay.
These are casting announcements. So yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so I guess, yeah, so we see Kate Bishop, we see America Chavez. Some of these I don't recognize.
I think we got Wanda's kids in there.
Wanda's kids are in there. Okay.
But yeah, that's supposedly what Avengers Academy is going to be. So I guess this will be their new breed of young heroes that will grow through adulthood, because we see all of the characters they're focusing on, but we haven't seen anything with Quicksilver and oh my god, what's his other name? I can never remember the other kid's name. Quicksilver, yeah, but that's it. But Marvel's already trademarked all of these.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's Ralph Boner.
Yeah, if it wasn't, if they weren't still tied up with the Universal license, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to shoehorn in Amadeus Cho Hulk. And if they weren't tied up for the Sony, and here's the thing, if they weren't so tied up with the Sony license, Miles Morales probably would have been introduced now.
You're gonna hate this though, but you guys saw the leaks for the Spider-Man cartoon they're bringing in the freshman year, right? Cho's going to be in that. So they already have plans for all of that. And I apologize, Culture, for taking over and just going all Marvel. I apologize.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. I mean, unfortunately, we've got a bunch of super chats I want to get to and some comments. We need to start here because this question came in a while ago from Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5. And this goes right in line with what's been happening elsewhere, like Comic-Con and other things. There is an impending video game developer crash incoming. E3 died way before E3 tried blaming the global crisis. Do you see that same thing happening to Hollywood? I think they're collapsing under their own weight.
Yeah,
again, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to interject in this because there is a great video I recommend everybody watching from Upper Echelon Gaming. You put it out this week about the impending crash. The impending crash, I don't think is going to come from it's not going to come exactly from the COOF and such like that. It's going to come from the fact that it's going to crash under their own. The industry is going to crash under their own weight. You see with what's going on with microtransactions, with monetization and such. I think that's where it's going to crash. I really think that's what's you're going to see it start to hit that collapse under its own weight.
I think there's another factor to that, Mackie, as well. Is also because as much as we want to bring in the COOF and soon to be monkeypox, I had to say that because it's true. It's also the fact that no one's been working for almost 2.5 years, 3 years, and the way the gas prices are, depending on the income of a family, they won't even be able to afford microtransactions. Exactly. They can't even afford to buy games. Heaven forbid, even finding a system. And
you can't even get PS5s.
Yeah, exactly. Supposedly that slipped under the radar, especially from Game Rant, is there's supposedly a class action lawsuit against a PS5 already because of a defective system going on within it. And no one's even heard about it yet. Yeah.
And it's like little things though. You see the situation with the former EA CEO who is now the head of Unity, who is now undergoing freaking boycotts because of stuff that raised the service with that engine. And something you guys don't know, Unity is a very important engine for many indie developers.
Oh my god, it is.
It is the bread and butter for indie developers. If that engine goes away, most of the indie scene is going to be dropped from that as a result.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have already stepped into Unreal 5. I mean, but we'll have to see. I mean, the problem is we don't have real good sandbox engines to play in right now. We need better engines, but you end up with gaming developers that rock on just one gaming engine forever and don't do anything with it. I'm looking at you, Bethesda, but we'll
times the bullets.
Frostbite.
Throwing shade.
I will give a shout out though. I've been testing GeForce Now, their cloud-based streaming.
Yeah,
bro, I'm playing Cyberpunk on highest settings, no problems.
Well, good.
Really?
That's awesome. That's good to know. Of course, we've got a couple other things I want to get to. Of course, Big Raj for a Canadian $1.99. It's a super sticker, and it's a thumbs up. We appreciate the super sticker. So, and then of course, my buddy Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. What's up, Bruce? For $5 says CultureCasino really want to review right now the new Dungeons and Dragons trailer for Honor Among Thieves. It feels like
It stars Chris
Galaxy
Pine.
trailer.
It stars Chris Pine, and he plays a bard, which is perfect for him.
Yeah.
I am,
And he
bro.
plays a
Wait,
pretty
a
boy
bard?
bard. Yeah, it's about
Nice.
thieves.
Bruce?
Yeah, it
We
looks
might-
actually really good. They got an owlbear in one of the scenes, and the CGI actually looks pretty good. I don't know, because Dungeons and Dragons has always been hit or miss when they try to do some form of media like this.
Well,
But it's
it
set in
can't be as
Forgotten
bad as
Realms.
the other.
I don't know.
Well, the first one wasn't bad.
It was.
The second and third one were horrid.
Blue lipstick. That's all I gotta say.
I'm
That was-
more terrified. Sorry, AFK. Go ahead.
But
No,
yeah,
go
I mean,
for it.
but yeah, Dungeons and Dragons is they have missed with it every time they try anything.
I would rather watch that than after what I've seen of the promo poster for The Sandman for Netflix. Okay, which looks
Oh, damn.
it looks like
Yeah,
the Crow.
They're gonna ruin that because
Oh,
Neil
man.
Gaiman has already given them a blank check.
Yeah, he's basically giving him his blessing, especially with a lot of the feedback and how he kind of basically just shoved off critics or people who had a problem with Death's character being, race
Changed. Yeah.
Well, I think Dungeons and Dragons, though the film might actually be successful, I think it's more on how tabletop and actual D&D lovers and players that actually have a huge knowledge base will
Mhm.
take it and see whether or not they're wasting actual aspects and stuff that they have available, or they're actually applying it in a factor that it actually makes a tellable story. So I will give it a chance because, no
Mhm.
offense, until I
Just
get
in case
Shazam.
it's a yeah.
I mean, they can't
Look
afford
at
for Chris
Shazam.
Pine to play Star Trek again, but they can afford for him to be in Dungeons and Dragons. So
But
maybe they're putting some money behind it.
it will hold me off until I get to see Shazam punch a dragon or throw a card at a dragon. Okay, that's the summary right there.
Okay, can I just say I have an issue with this Shazam thing, and it's been bugging me, and I know I'm horrible. I was upset that it took so long for them to do a Shazam 2 because the kid actors obviously were going to grow out of the role. And at that point, I was like, you should just recast it because it's being Shazam. It's kind of like the Doctor Strange issue where you just introduce the character, and then the next movie you pull it apart, right? So like you just introduce these young kids who are like, have these superpowers. And then the next one, they're like 6 years older or whatever and still have these powers or whatever. And you kind of like miss what the demographic was, I guess. I mean, like, I don't know. Watching this trailer, everybody looks way too old, including the adults. And I don't want to be mean, but the actor, like Zachary Levi, looks too old for the role. Like he's not going to be able to be Shazam forever.
No.
And it kind of frustrates me that they wasted their time.
Yeah, and this is the other thing about hype, the quality of cinematography now is it's going to make people look much older than they would on celluloid, in film grain and everything else. I mean,
Right.
But
Ant-Man, another problem. It just drives me crazy. They all look too old for the roles now, and they're supposed to be like young and believably agile.
Should not have wasted time on certain things, indeed. But look, I'm gonna bring this up.
Yeah, aging sucks.
Yeah, it
I
does.
just had a
I'm going
birthday.
to bring this up so that Bruce is satisfied and just say, I have seen this already. Paramount is notorious for, claiming stuff when it's played. I don't mind the world that we're being shown here. It didn't turn me off immediately. I think that Chris Pine does have some comedic timing, and I think the role is perfect for him.
Was that cleavage? Was there actual cleavage in a day and age trailer? I'm sorry, I don't usually see that without people saying, "Oh, yeah, there was curves." I just saw curves. Sorry,
Cleavage is a necessity in D&D.
Oh, I know, but not to most of the crazies out there.
No, not most of
Don't
the
talk
crazies.
to Wizards of the Coast about that.
It's like salt to a it's like garlic to a vampire.
Yeah. Who needs heroes? I don't know. We've never asked for it. I just hope it's good. I just want good storytelling. I don't care if you have woke aspects in it, if it's layered and not thrown in my face. As long as it's good, that's all I care about. I want something that entertains me.
Somebody's having microphone issues. I'm not sure who.
Yeah.
But look, I like Chris Pine, so it is what it is. My expectations are going to be, hopeful here. I'm not anticipating this to be an Oscar-winning film. I don't think anybody else is.
If it's anything like Halo, hell no.
God.
But I don't. Okay, so mostly I don't care now about any of that. But what I do care about is Star Trek. And before we get to that, I have one more super chat I need to address clearly. For $5, FYI, Disney's using Chadwick Boseman's Twitter account to advertise the movie, which seems inappropriate.
That's bad taste.
That's
inappropriate.
The fact that they had his face on a huge billboard in the trailer was also kind of bothersome. Like, the guy's dead, and you're using his image. Like, are you like? I'm hoping they're delivering as lost, but like what Tom and I was talking about last week, when we were all talking about last week, I don't think they're respecting his death at all. I think they see him as just as a product placement, and not if they're using his Twitter, that's even more disrespectful. Not just to Chadwick himself, but to his family and anyone else who loved him and was loved ones from him. Like, Disney seemed to understand the whole point of family, yet they're called a family channel. Like, what happened?
Well, that's why they had to change it to freeform, right? But I mean, I'll look. I mean, and the person actually that did that is the one that just got promoted into Peter Rice's position, that Walden lady. She's the one that was in charge of changing that. Yeah, sorry, that's a little inside baseball nobody's going to care about. But anyway, so that's not great news, Nikki. I don't know. I try not. Yeah, a lot of
bad. That's just in poor taste.
Yeah, it's shameful, tasteless. Yeah, Disney doesn't care.
No
You're
soul.
100% right, Angelus.
No soul.
Yeah. And that's a real problem. Kathy says, Culture, did you happen to forget Halo? Gosh, you have to be on some powerful antipsychotics to mess up. Well, they did. I'm tired of it.
Second season. So it is getting a second season then, right?
I don't want to talk about any of this stuff. Yeah. And
that's like that's just way too painful. Yeah. Move on.
This is exactly why we're creating our own stuff. This is why I'm writing stories. This is why McKinney and lots of people are working on comics. We're done. We are making our own entertainment.
I think that's what they're terrified about, is that we are at the point where people are doing it. We can insert it. Well, I was going to insert the Star Trek thing, but wait, let me insert something.
Pause.
Wait, hit pause, because I'm going to let
just
you
the
talk.
tip.
I'm going to let you talk. Are you ready?
It'll grow back, right?
Are you ready? Now go. Mocking. Go.
Oh
wow!
I don't have anything to rant about. I mean, listen.
No. Pitch this.
Pitch this.
3 million.
That's right.
3 million. Listen, if this is any indication, you look at the people who are still foaming at the mouth over this.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah,
it's not just and it's not just from people. It's not just from the detractors, people crazy. Other comic creators too, as well. Listen, he has a good marketing push. He has a strong marketing push. He has a strong fan base. Don't effing see this as some kind of disparagement. This should be encouragement. Period. For any creator out there, this is encouraging to see. This is inspiring to see.
And the criticism is coming from the people that call us gatekeepers, by the way.
Well, and they call us all kinds of names that are usually, gatekeeper
is the nice thing they call us. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and now look, you can disparage the material if it's bad. You can disparage the story if it's bad. You don't know if either of those things are true. All of the art that I have seen is better than anything I've seen in a modern book. All of the storytelling elements, when it talks about the short story around this, if you just read this brief paragraph, it's inspired. It's inspiring. And look. $3.18 million, 61 days to go. If this thing doesn't cross 5 million, I'll be surprised. I have people telling me it's going to hit 10.
Well, and there's more stuff, right?
If this doesn't inspire anything, it's inspired. If it should, you guys should get for this is that it inspires you. Listen, take a risk. If you're driven behind, if you really want to achieve this dream, sometimes you're going to have to take that risk, and it's going to be. You may have to do it. You just have to jump in and go for it. If you're going to take the risk, if you're dedicated for it to make it happen, you're going to make it happen. Period. Yep. It is going to be a risky thing, but you will make it happen as long as you have the push, the motivation, the desire, and you put the time in.
And put the work in. You got to put the work in.
You got to.
And
put
that's
the
what
work in.
Ripa did. He put the work in.
Yeah, you both definitely have to put the work in. I'm doing my animated series, Conspiracy Chronicles, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's very rewarding creating, because once you get that inspiration, these ideas just start flowing one after the other. And it's like, hey, this is good.
What would be?
I mean, I have over 110 short stories on my channel. Once you get going, it goes and goes and goes.
What is inspiring to me is not seeing its success, but the fact that it's bringing it to life. You're bringing your stories. You look at think about all the creators we've supported over the years, such as Gaze, such as Vinny, such as CG.
EVS.
Everybody. We've seen so many people.
Look at this.
The time is now.
Sold out.
Yeah, I'm going through here. Sold out. All these different packages, right? Sold out. They sold out of the I Want It Alls, all of them, as far as I know. Right?
I got me some 3 covers.
To the people who were saying, like, oh, this will never amount to anything. He's going to get a lesson in reality, which I saw one of the idiots who was making this whole diatribe about he's going to get a lesson in reality and how much of a big failure he's going to be. It's like, he actually did it.
Yeah,
which is much more to say than your freaking ass. Sorry.
And he spent $200,000 of his own money to make it happen. And
it's his own money. It's not, and those funds are actual supporting funds. It's not some like right wing kind of crap here, conspiracy thing. No, this is at 3 million people, $3 million from actual people supporting this.
Right? Yeah,
that's right. Because it's not Mark Cuban's money and it's not Kevin Hart's money.
Right.
Well, interestingly enough, if you look at this, he sold out of all the ability for you to be canonized, by the way, in the first hour. So people were spending $5,000 to be a part of these books, folks. That is incredible. And every single one of those opportunities gone. And you just look through all of the different merchandise packs, everything else. These things are hot cakes. And, he's continuing to sell. He's continuing to offer the books. He's obviously got to go back to the printer. This is going to start shipping like even before the August dates that were planned, if it hasn't already. I know he's having a difficulty right now with PayPal. With PayPal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But didn't you say last night that was all worked out?
That would, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me because guess what? You have a whole lot of people, at least 36,000 of them, that could come down on PayPal's door and say, "What's going on here, buddy?"
But Mexican Ironman actually brought up a good point on Loki's show on Friday, and I think other people have mentioned this too. Is the fact is that it does make sense that they would hold money to have a verification go through, because if his account's getting a large influx of money that's like in the millions, of course it's going to raise red flags, and they're going to have to do some checks. I'm not saying what they did was right, but from a new company aspect, it does make sense. I don't think they were actually trying to withhold the money out of like evil intent, but more out of professional intent to make sure that it was all legit and the product was actually there. I do believe that is part of the case.
Yeah, the government is going to be like, what the heck is going on here? So they're going to have to.
I think it's kind of different than the way that PayPal or GiveSendGo or other type of charities try to hold money, let's say from truckers. I think this is more. There's a huge amount of money coming in, and we got to make sure this money is coming in for the right.
Because they're going to be on the hook with the government if they don't make sure it's all legit.
Yeah, they're trying not to have any fraud. That's what it is.
Yeah,
exactly. So let's okay. So we, like you said, we have people making stuff now that is in direct competition with the mainstream, and they're doing it wonderfully well. Like Eric, he built up his platform for a decade plus, and now he is reaping the rewards. And you know what? He's a good businessman, so congratulations. But
he's a successful musician on top of that, right?
Well, of course, yeah. Let me get to a few other super chats and stuff because we got to move on. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5 says you can see when the writing changed to push a social agenda when they stopped writing reactive, reluctant superheroes to push a proactive, activist message. Yeah, you can. And that's actually when the Marvel Cinematic Universe started to fall apart, including in all of its shows. They brought in activist writers who weren't actual writers to make this stuff, and they suck.
It makes it makes what Cap said to Nick Fury at the beginning of Winter Soldier much more reality, much more apparent. This isn't freedom. This is fear.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, I
The
agree
word
with
you're
you.
looking for is poignant.
Yeah, it is poignant. And Pinochet's helicopter tours for another $2 says, so a McKinney's draws contribution to the Ripperverse when? It's a good question.
I would be honored. I would.
I'm sure you would be.
Honored.
Yeah. And Gap, I know Gap Stargate out there, now Gap After Dark says we need more emojis. I will work on those, I promise. We will get to them here in the next few weeks. We've got Darius Munchausen for $1.49 with a super sticker. I guarantee you that is a box of popcorn. And apparently he gets his own anthem right there. A little reveille for you.
Sorry, that's my
Orderly.
No, it's
usually
fine.
this is what time I wake up. So
No, well, thanks for being awake for us. Of course, Steven, otherwise known as Deleted Scenes, sends us a super sticker. It's 100. Yes, it is. We are all about keeping it 100 here. Thank you for your support, my friend. Yeah, and for the 160 of you out there, please, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. Anytime we get over 100 likes, it actually helps the video arrhythmically, and well, and you know the rhythm is it. The rhythm is going to get you. The rhythm is going to.
So I do want, in addition to Machini, our good friend Bruce Lombardo is also very close to 1,000 subs. So I'm going to go ahead and
so close.
put his link in there, and maybe we can help Bruce out as well.
Yeah, I actually think that Turo is right, and I'll highlight that comment in just a second. Turo is right. Machini draws for the Fapaverse.
That's not the best.
The Fapaverse. There you go. And here's the link to Mr. Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division's channel, our buddy Bruce, who has great streams and paints miniatures, and he's just an incredible guy. So do check that out. Hey, what's up, Memes? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Memes.
And you're right, Tina. Tina Guzman says Peter Jackson did his films correctly. He did them back to back, so he avoided the aging issues. Disney should take note. I agree. So should DC, because of we were just talking about the follow-up to Shazam. Speaking of which, superheroes stuff, and obviously William Shatner stuff is kind of what we're going to go into next.
I love Shatner. He called Kevin Smith a double dumbass.
I think I believe and I think that he is doing everything in his power to outlive George Takei.
Good. I feel like it's an Adams and the two presidents that were trying to outlive each other.
Yeah, it's just
Jefferson, thank you. Yeah, Adams.
Ladies and gentlemen, Machini is now at 966.
Yes.
All right.
Time to unsub my 10 accounts.
No. Okay.
Well, anyway, the question from Heavy and anybody else that's paying attention is Shatner right? Is Roddenberry turning in his grave over new Star Trek? And I grabbed this article because it's different than the one everybody else has been using, right? The Hollywood Reporter one. So at 91, Shatner is done holding back. If you asked his opinion, he will share it, whether it's on his Twitter feed, on a television interview, or in front of a live audience. Shatner is never short of opinions. His most recent missive may have crossed the line for some fans. And as AFK Bard said, what did you say, Bard?
Oh, that they upset some of the new fans who like the new Star Trek, but the actual fans agree with him. Something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shatner's closely associated with Trek because he was Captain James T. Kirk. Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. But in an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con, Shatner dropped a bombshell that might be as powerful as the Nexus ribbon, which helped Captain Kirk helped kill Captain Kirk in the first place. On July 21st, 2022, as moderator Kevin Smith looked on, Shatner answered a fan question about the newer Trek series and if any rivaled his own. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Shatner said that none of them are as good as TOS. He said, I got to know Trek creator Gene Roddenberry in 3 years fairly well, Shatner added. He'd be turning in his grave at some of this stuff. His comments caused shockwaves through the fan community. While some agreed with Shatner's remarks, others pushed back. One fan said, Trek does not belong to Shatner or Roddenberry, and their time has passed. Whoa!
That's not an actual fan. That's one of those new Trek people.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what AFK just said. That is a shining example of what AFK just said right there.
Maybe that fan is Klutzman. Maybe that's who they asked.
That fan works for
CBS.
CBS All Access. Or
Oof, yeah, that was
it's Paramount
painful.
Plus now, but yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
look at this.
Whatever.
Look at this. Everybody's on this. Shatner is the man. 100, folks.
I would disagree on Shatner that I don't think Roddenberry's turning in his grave. I think he's spinning in his grave so fast that it's actually powering the entire world. It's producing enough energy to
his spinning is warp drive. That's what it is.
He's become a large hadron collider.
Yeah,
indeed.
He's basically become a large turbine engine, pretty much.
He is CERN. That's what it is.
He is concerned about what's going on for sure. But
you guys, look, I can't argue. The chat's on fire. Everybody's supporting chat. But anyway, we'll keep going. So, the question remains: if Shatner is correct, would Roddenberry not approve of the so-called new Trek, which much of which has been made since his death? The final show of the creator franchise was alive to see was Deep Space Nine. There are conflicting reports on whether he would approve of it. The show was in its early stages of development when Roddenberry passed away in 91. However, Roddenberry created guidelines for every show he created. These are known as the Bibles or Writer's Guides, written to keep everyone on the same page. Roddenberry wrote Writer's Guides for TOS, TNE, and other shows like the Questor tapes. Using those, fans can interpret whether the creator would have liked what the current Trek shows have become. Melodrama. In his Next Generation Writer's Guide from 87, Roddenberry said that Star Trek is not melodrama. Melodrama is a writing style that does not require believable people. Believable people are at the heart of good Star Trek scripts. So far, that takes every single new Star Trek series out of the running, in my opinion. Fans have long accused Star Trek Discovery of being full of melodrama. I would agree. An excellent example of this is Trek fan Andy Thompson, who recently commented that Discovery is an embarrassment with convoluted, badly written storylines and melodrama with more crying than you find on The Young and the Restless. There's even a thread on Reddit dedicated to questioning
That's a good one.
Full of too much melodrama. So now we're at Swords and Sorcery. Here we go. Roddenberry famously disliked space pirates, knights, and princesses. In 87 Writer's Guide, he said, "Knights and princesses, stalwart yeomen, and dragons are not science fiction for our purposes. Fans might..."
You must not have liked Cat's Paw very much.
Well, indeed. Judas Goats Barbecue, I thank you for the super chat and for gifting all those memberships earlier. We will immediately jump on this super because it's relevant. Roddenberry is spinning so fast he has become a quantum singularity of WTF. Yes, my friend. Yes.
The imagery is ridiculous in my head, but
yes,
it's ridiculous.
Well,
I can't help but laugh. That's funny.
I'm like, this is, yes, it's 100% on point. But anyway, so fans might instantly point out that the TOS episode Shore Leave featured a yeoman dressed as a princess and a giant bunny too. Perhaps Roddenberry did not want to allow that sort of thing again on TNG. However, the TNG episode Cupid got pretty close. With recent Strange New Worlds episode, the Elysian Kingdom, featuring Anson Mount, Elysium, yeah, you can pronounce it however you want, and the rest of the cast dressed in fairy tale costumes, right? Roddenberry might not have liked that one. And then Galaxy Policeman. Okay.
That's the least of what he wouldn't have liked about New Trek.
See, yeah. there's also an underlying factor too with all of this Strange New Worlds crap. Is that the bridge officers, the female bridge officers are usually at least one of the helmsmen. When you're given an order, you follow it. We saw that in TNG. We've seen that in TOS and every other Star Trek. But every time Anson Mount gives an order, everyone's arguing with him. What is the whole deal of having a rank system of captain and such if everyone's just going to argue when given an order? That's the other thing that causes like a major disrespect with me, especially with the bridge crew. You follow commands. You're running the ship. You're driving the ship. Stop arguing with the captain.
Pretty much every episode is like, don't do this, and then they do this, and then they do. It works out. So the next episode they do this. Same thing, rinse and repeat.
Is the level of disrespect on the same level as Lower Decks?
It's all disrespectful.
Like I mean, rank.
Hey, time out, everybody. Hang on. I do need to correct something that I don't know if we said here or was said in the chat or whatever. But yes, it was not Give, Send, Go that screwed over the truckers. It was.
I know that.
It was
it was
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Excuse me. I was just saying. I was using that as a reference. I did.
That's fine.
It was just a mistake.
You're fine. Thank you, Trav, for the £2 sterling.
Correct.
Appreciate the proper money. And so thank you very much for that. Of course, we have a new guest joining us. His name is Tom Connors. He's from Midnight's Edge. Perhaps you've seen him before.
Ooh, hello there,
guest. Wow. I see where we stand now, Mr. Casino.
Well, hello there, Tom.
Love you.
Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, now they can make out.
Well, I don't know. All I know is I watched the first season of Discovery. It was garbage. I tried to watch the second season, got one episode in, and I couldn't get 5 minutes into it. They insulted the Pike and them like the minute they started the show. It was.
I can't watch a TV show where the main character is a biatch. Like I just couldn't connect after one episode, so I just gave up.
Can I go on a semi-lengthy rant here?
Yes, please. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, Roddenberry would be. It's pretty clear. It's well documented what his likes and dislikes were about, even when he was alive. With what was being done to Star Trek, and he would hate New Trek. New Trek, it just doesn't make any sense. There aren't even coherent stories. We're not even talking about subjectively bad. We're talking about objectively bad. These plots don't make any sense. There's plot holes a million miles away. Somebody has issues with, invisible friends or something, apparently in the writer's room. So they keep showing up, but then it goes nowhere with them. The identity politics, the heavy-handed nature of it. Ultimately, even though his version of the future was, you could call it kind of socialistic, the characters, it was all about the individual, who you are as an individual, and appreciating them for who they are. And that's not what you get out of this. I'm this checkbox, I'm that checkbox. You have a 5'4" girl beating up like a 6'8" Klingon. And you'll make a mention of that to the New Trek fans on Twitter, and they're like, "No, there's nothing wrong with that." And to quote Spock, even logic must give way to physics. It's just not going to happen. She's not going to be able to kick his ass. And it's very sad.
Ruby Rose method.
Yeah. It's just like it's ridiculous. There'd be the chat is right. He would be spinning so hard in his grave, and then the Orville, it seems to be going down the Orville is getting mixed reviews, and I'm not really too happy with season 3. So that's my rant.
Well, that's a good rant.
Thank you.
But, this is what I imagine happens. The writers sit down to write a story, and then some 20-something comes in there and goes, "But where's our message?"
Yeah. Well, they have no life experience. They are young writers. They have zero life experience. You can't be a good writer. You write what you know. If you know nothing, you're going to get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I went down a path of excess, and that's why I know how to write certain things.
Right.
Because I made mistakes.
Yeah. And life wisdom is very important. Having experience in the world is important, and that's kind of something that everybody has gotten away from recently. We have the Atlantean sending us a $5 super chat just to say hail, culture. Well, hail to you,
Atlantean.
Love you, man. Hope you're being safe today. Now, I know Wes has to leave, so I kind of want to give him the last final thoughts on this, and then we were going to move from the subject, sir. Thoughts, final, anything about?
Well, sadly, I have to do adulting. I have to attempt to make a living, so that is life. But yeah, my thoughts are just to wrap up on the Orville here. The season 3, first of all, they're retreading their own ground they already did in seasons 1 and season 2. And from a writing, I will say the Orville still falls under season 3 falls under subjectively bad, because at least you do have relatively coherent plots. And the writing seems to be at least decent. But subjectively, I'm not liking the direction it's taking. I'm not liking that they're retreading old ground from season 1 and season 2. Should have let those things rest until later on. For example, the Topa arc, that should have been well down the road. We didn't need to revisit that now. Didn't need to revisit what happened with the female Mocklins now. That's something that could have happened later. We're really getting into the galactic politics of the Orville, which is very reminiscent of the way it's being handled in the Orville with, say, the Star Wars prequels. We don't need to go into the nuts and bolts of that now. Let's stick to the heart of the story and the heart of our characters. And, it's just not consistent with Mercer's character and with Gordon's character. There was an episode where Gordon got thrown back in time, starts a family, and Gordon's this super serious character in that episode. Well, that's not who Gordon is.
Right.
He's supposed to be the comic relief. And it's a little jarring. So I still put it under subjectively bad and not objectively bad. But that's my take on Orville season 3. I'd love to see what the chat has to say about it, and you guys.
All right. Well, I'm sorry that you have to leave us. I really appreciate when you're here, Wes. And
I can rant about this for hours.
I know. And then when it comes to Trek, you are a beast. Dude knows his stuff. So check out Wes on whatever cast. The description link has been corrected, and if it will ask you if you want to be subbed, all you have to do is merely click upon that. Thank you, Wes. I hope you were safe today.
Thanks. Great being here. See you guys.
See you, man.
Much love, Wes.
Yeah, very, very gifted, very gifted indeed. Does amazing stuff on his channel. Also, we have another guest joining us today. It's Mirrorsphere's Origin. Hey, buddy.
Hey, man.
No worries. Thanks for being here. Although we are probably winding down at some point in time. Tom, you didn't said a whole lot. Do you have thoughts around what Shatner said? In light of everything that Roddenberry seems to have.
Well, I find it very ironic that he is saying this shit on the very stage in front of the people who did the same fucking thing to Masters of the Universe.
Yep.
Yikes.
The fact that the irony was lost on every single person on that stage really puts a cloud over those comments, right? I would love to be laughing and celebrating and being jovial and just wallow in the schadenfreude of his fucking comments. But the fact that he said it on stage while saying he was going to be part of Masters of the Universe Season 2 with Kevin Smith not maybe 5 feet a fucking way from him, and him not really having it dawn on him, but enough that he made the comment again for us to come back at him with. So the motherfucker pulled me in, just like The Godfather. Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in, because the motherfucker goes, I promise this next season it's all going to be about He-Man. It's like, okay, motherfucker, bets on. Let's see now. Because it's his ass on the line this time. Yeah. He claims. So this is him acknowledging that he fucking lied about last season.
Yep.
In my book. And played it off. You're right. You're right.
He played it off. He did that goddamn Smodcast where he had the voice actor, the pompous little shit with the glasses, talking about how, we made Orko a more lovable character by killing him, and then he had that little jackass that would pop in side to side going, well, if you don't think that this, and they were talking about Clownfish TV, like, your heads are so far up your ass, the only thing you're breathing is your own ego. They literally cannot be truthful. If they literally came out and said, hey, we're going to focus on tail of the season and bring back He-Man in a later time, hell yeah, do that. But they didn't. And then they kept going with their narrative, and literally Shatner put him in their place. And the thing is, you think you've pissed off the fans with the first season of Masters of the Universe. Wait till Shatner starts blasting you on Twitter if you do a bait and switch. That's what I'm waiting for. The Masters with Shatner.
I would love to think he would do that, but I don't know if he would. But
it stands. He still owes Clownfish TV an apology.
He'll never get it.
Yeah. Gojira Star is actually exactly right. Hail everyone. Smith's
just like, even though he said that shit at San Diego, he'll never unblock me. He'll never acknowledge that he fucked the fans over.
Yeah.
Nah, stupid.
But the best thing you can do is, Tom, is your passions and your voice, the way you were talking about it. So technically, if you're blocked or not, you're still a fan of He-Man, and you will stand.
No, and I love Shatner. I mean, and I'm so happy that he finally has actually said something, because he's always kind of throwing some passive aggressive shit out there about STD and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this is the first time he's flat out just said, no, fuck these people.
Yeah. I thought it was amazing, and the irony was perfect. He was standing on the stage basically lecturing, Kevin Smith, who didn't know he was being lectured.
And that's the thing. It's like, he's been dealing with the shit from Twitter for the past couple of years. So it's like all of it's coming to surface in a way.
I think it also has to do with the factor with Strange New Worlds going back and reusing that other episode. talk about where they introduced Kirk in that episode, that John Mulaney Kirk. And
Right.
I think in a way, I think that Shatner kind of got a little perturbed by it. As much as at the end message was supposed to say, hey, you need Kirk anyways, because otherwise the whole Federation falls apart. The fact is you reused him and played him down as to a character he probably wasn't. So you're already doing a TOS slap in the face. And that's where the disrespect is coming from as well.
Well, yeah. And to that end, we have a couple things. Pinochet's helicopter tour for $2 says Tom has a call-in show now. Step up your game panel. Well, all right.
Nobody.
Also, I want to compliment Tom. Tom, I love your voice. Some of your mic is like really, really coming clear. Like, not as it has it before. It's just it comes much stronger now.
Yeah, he's emptied like 5 Kleenex boxes. Let me tell you something.
At least, yeah. TZ Burton for $2 says, I vote for Culture as Wookiee of the Month. All hail. Well, thank you for that, my friend. And our buddy Mikey, otherwise known as Mexican Iron Man, for $4.99.
Mike!
F. Kevin Smith. F that baseball wearing sheephead. F his new Clerk 3 movie. F his stupid fake tears. And F Motu season 2. F. Okay.
Woo! Just one last thing about the Shatner stuff.
I think you missed an F there, Mike.
If you guys haven't, go watch Earth Final Conflict and Andromeda. If you watch those, you will see Trek in them, because Roddenberry was focused. He had a single mindset. This was what he wanted to do. He wanted to create a heroic, but utopian kind of thing. And that's not what New Trek is. New Trek is not anything of it.
Well, Jack, the way you can sum up New Trek is they have taken what was built and they turned the Federation into the Dominion.
Yep.
That's pretty much what they did.
Yep.
We're all Wayuns now.
But how does Mikey really feel?
How does Mikey really?
Fire. London Test is laughing. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Here's good news, though. That Cowabunga collection coming looks fantastic. With
it does.
Games? Yeah.
More Thoth Bootrek. All right, look, as much as I could talk about this forever, and I could, we've got at least one more thing I want to get to. I want the thumbnail to be somewhat accurate. Thor: Love and Thunder, kids. What are your guesses?
Love and Blood. I love that Steven's laugh. I love it.
Did they really set up goofy looking fat Zeus to be a bad guy in the next movie?
I don't care.
No, it's Hercules.
The stuff that I care about is that Thor: Love and Thunder cost $250 million to make.
Yeah.
It has a domestic box office as of today of 276 million. It has 322 international, and it's not quite at $600 million globally. When you look at the funnel of projection, it is even below. It is trending downward. This is not new. It's been on the bottom of this and trending downward ever since.
That looks like a YouTube feed right there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And as you can see, it fell off 68% week to week, and it's going to fall off another 53% this weekend. It has no competition. None.
Maverick, probably, if it's still in theaters, because people still go see Maverick for a 5th time. It's been
That's
known.
true.
Yeah.
At this point, I think maybe they have people trickling in who's like, well, we've seen Maverick 5 times. Let's see what this one's about.
But I think they would go AFK. You're right. But I think they'd go to Minions first before they go to this.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they went to Minions twice too. I mean,
or 3 times.
Don't talk over each other, guys. One at a time.
Do you think this will even break even?
I think it's going to break even. I don't know how much it will be in the black. Tom, you probably are in line to have a conversation about this.
Which movie? I'm sorry, isn't about to be in the black.
Yeah,
Thor: Love and Blunder.
Oh shit! Where's it at right now?
It's sitting just under 600 million.
Oh fuck! It comes on Disney Plus in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
it's like 45 day and day release.
Look at the fall off. Look at the fall off, man.
If it hits 600,
it's close.
It's close, but we were saying that it probably had to hit at least 7 to break even because it's 250 for the budget, probably another 250 at least for fucking advertising. So right there puts you at, you know, $400-500 million, and to clear all that, you've got to get in over that 700 million range.
Yeah.
And here's another thing that I think you Valiant or you Culture and Valiant have also been pointing out lately is that the theaters aren't giving the studios the kind of rates they used to get.
Nope.
Because remember when everybody called me crazy for saying that the theaters don't need the studios as much as the studios need the theaters?
Yeah.
That was true.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true. And at this point, they are exercising they sat back for a long time and let the studios dictate and push and push and push until they were in a corner and studios thought they had them right where they wanted them.
Yeah.
And then they flicked their fucking claws out.
Yep.
And they didn't realize how big a claws this cat had.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're feeling the sink of those claws in their gullets right now. And that claw is saying, you want more? Tough shit.
Tough titty.
Fithian is going to make the exhibitors or help the exhibitors realize they can demand more. And I think, one of the reasons why he's the National Association of Theater Exhibitor or Theater Organization, which is actually NATO. That's why I remember it. But anyway,
Society Reviews is right though about the billion. Sorry, Culture. They were expecting $1 billion.
Oh, they were
That's
expecting
the thing.
$1 billion, though. And it won't get anywhere close. And you know what? Doctor Strange has stopped earning. It's under $1 billion. I didn't think it would make $1 billion. They really soft helped it towards that number over the last.
And it's not like I had any insight that anybody else didn't have access to when it came to this shit, because Culture agreed with me. I'm not going to say you didn't. You were one of the few who did. Yeah. In that respect, because I knew, and you should know, there's no way you can make the kind of money these movies need to make on just video and streaming. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. You can't even get good audience retention on a streaming service for one movie a month. You just can't. I mean, Netflix has been struggling with this for longer than they care to admit, and now that they are losing the licensed programming, I mean, this is when it comes to streaming. We're gonna have
it all goes back. It all goes back. If they would write and tell good freaking stories,
right,
they wouldn't have any problems. None.
Yeah.
But they won't tell good stories.
It has to be the selling point. Like, it has to be the hook. You know.
Right.
Well, the problem is they hire a bunch of people who aren't writers; they're activists, and they just go, "Here, write something."
Well, I firmly believe that in 2007, when that writer strike happened, all these idiot executives decided that they were good writers and were going to do it.
Actually, interestingly enough, I have a video on that on Monday.
Ooh,
because we are fast approaching another writing strike at the end of next year, folks. And if they go out for 12 weeks or longer like they did last time, Hollywood is boned and all of these streaming services are boned. And I'm not kidding.
So have y'all noticed everything's backwards? The writer creates the story, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's the least paid person. So to
speak. And it's you look at you kind of look at how it is with comic books, where it's like comic books now, it's like the writer is the one that gets much more attention than say the artist, the penciler, the inker, or the colorist. It's usually the writer that gets their name.
I grew up, it was kind of like just a normal thing to go, oh, that's just the writer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ancient Reapers points out. Yeah, Ancient Reapers does point out, because most people don't realize the split that the theatrical exhibitors take on these films now, and that's what Tom was addressing. And Odin does a really good job of breaking down what the box office actually collects versus the theaters, the exhibitors versus the studios, and how that used to be weighted. Those weights have changed. The streaming thing is just bananas. So that's it. Like I said, Odin is great. OMD Reviews is very good, so you can check that out as well.
Now, I just want to say real quick, he's got a point about the writers, but also the problem is these writers aren't writing their own stuff anymore. They're just stealing other better writers.
Well, it's
franchises, and they're saying, "Hey, you are old. It doesn't fit. So we're gonna read.
You don't have
a better writer than you. Like these stupid freaking guys that are doing Rings of Power. We're like." he didn't write this, so we're going to write it for him because we're pretty much to them they're better writers than J.R.
I'll go back to the Wheel of Time showrunner who said, "I didn't like the characters, so I changed them."
Yeah.
It's getting a third season. Screw Wheel of Time. No, wait, not saying a third season. Sorry, sort of.
Wheel of Time. It's Amazon. They haven't even shown you season 2 yet, and they're rolling out more of this stuff that nobody likes.
Another.
Not just that, they're going back and redoing the audio books with the actress who plays Moraine, reading them, and I'm like, she's not even the same character.
Yeah. Well, very quickly, and this is important. DZ Burton brings up something that I think this was a story Tim Pool did a great video on. You should watch it. That Daily Wire passed Disney on something. It was actually Daily Wire passing Disney on podcast charts. They actually went by them on the podcast charts.
Does Disney have podcasts?
Yeah. Yep. And it actually, it's insane, right? I mean, you have lots of these types of things happening all the time now, and it's why I always say we are capable of winning. And Eric July is right. We can win, and we will win. He's not wrong.
And he deserves every bit.
We already
of
won.
Success.
He deserves to win.
And that's why I hate him so much.
Somebody did mention that Nope came out this
that's right.
this weekend, and it did better than I thought. The previews were soft on Thursday.
Yeah, it was pretty soft previews. I didn't think it was going to do that well.
Yeah, but it knocked up domestically, which is the only place I know that it's been fully released, $44 million for Jordan Peele. So he did really well with this one. He needs to make a lot of money because this thing was $70 million in budget. So
I think part of it was there's nothing really else going up against it. People are done with Thor. And B, the Thursday night showings might have been soft because people weren't quite sure what it was, and they probably didn't ramp up the advertising until Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't see a lot of pre-advertising for Nope, but as soon as it was dropped, I did start seeing some advertising. So I think they saved it for this weekend. It seems to have worked out for him. What was the budget on it?
68 plus 68.5, something like that. So yeah,
that's a reasonable budget though. So that's
they'll get it back.
It's double his previous horror film, and that one was double.
Dude, anything under 100 right now is fucking reasonable in Hollywood, if you ask me. Especially because if you've seen the trailer for that, it's not like there's not any special effects in it either. I mean, that's the Alien one about the spaceships and shit. So it's not like it was. So if they only spent 60-some million on that, and as good as it looked in the trailer, it didn't look enticing to me as a movie. But
and Peele,
it looked pretty good for a $60-some million movie.
Yeah, and Paulie is right. Peele for a director has a very big following. He does. Yes, he does. But he also built up himself up in another way before he got there. But yeah, he like I said. I mean, have you guys seen Get Out?
I have, and I didn't care for it, but I understand why people dug it.
Oh, I thought it was fine.
I liked it up until the third act. That third act, it goes completely off the rails to me. And it's just because you've expected me to believe and you've asked me to come along with you all to this point, but then you've gone just one step too far.
Yeah. Too many big asks.
Too many big asks. Exactly was my review.
Well, I think if we're just patient, like my channel, I write stories. I just write stories. I tell people what I'm doing, how to write. This is what I do. I'm just patient. Eventually, I'm going to get monetized. Eventually, the channel will pay for itself. I just like to write. And if people like to listen, that's great. They don't care for what they're doing. They have no care. They don't respect what they're even creating. So why are anybody else viewers going to respect
it's not just they don't respect it, because it's not them creating it. They just don't give a shit. They just freaking Disney goes, here's a bunch of money. You're gonna, because you used to be for Bad Reboot or whoever the freaking they get work for before. Yeah. We're gonna hire you because probably J.J. Abrams freaking told them, hey, these guys are decent. Hire them or whatever. And they're like, what's the most important thing? Diversity. Okay,
or
we'll
the
just
message.
Or make sure that it doesn't.
Sorry, the message.
You can't have these things. Here's your rule book, and here's your writing rule book, which is bullshit. This is why I don't fucking publish through anybody, because I'm not. I was like, nope. If you're gonna tell me what my rules are for my book, go fuck yourself, because I create this world, not you. I don't want some publisher going, yeah, we like these characters, but you don't have a gay character in your book. Well, not gonna happen. So no,
it sounds like Minisphere saying I make the rules here. Not
I thought that was the audio recording of Twitter complaining. I thought that was
that's the truth. I've been told. I'd like to represent you, but you don't have enough diversity in your story. I'm like, I've got black characters, I got white characters. Well, you don't have any trans characters. You don't have any gay characters. You don't. I'm like, I don't care about that. I really don't.
On Earth, so go fuck yourself.
It's just like, or in Jack, in some cases, just like, you're not allowed to write or depict this character. And I'm like, so because I'm black, all my characters have to be black, right?
That's the other thing.
That was another
if I were to put a trans character in one of my stories, it would sound foolish because I don't know anything about their experience.
Well, here's a better way to answer. You just say whatever random character is gay. And then when they say, oh, I didn't know that, you say, yeah, because it's not important to the fucking story. That's why.
Exactly. That's the rule number one. Rule number one. If it's not the story, cut it out.
Yeah, it's like, I'm black and my main character is Asian.
Yeah.
This doesn't make a big deal about it.
My main character is a half-breed, and he's literally has like greenish skin.
All my characters are white, and they automatically are considered supremacists.
What really ticked me off is when a publisher sends me a letter saying that we would have published this 15 years ago, but we can't publish it now.
No, it's not can't. They won't. That's the difference.
Yeah,
they
said
won't.
Can't, but
yeah, but you know what I mean, though, right? The can't is an excuse. They won't because they're afraid they're going to get.
And that was
Twitter.
Real quickly. That's
like,
Mecha J.
Twitter.
Just a second, Mecha J. We're actually talking about Nope right now. It made $44 million this weekend at the box office domestically, and that's what the subject we're on. So I haven't seen it yet. So
I'm not worried for it. The horror films tend to do well. Like Paulie said, and this is why I said as soon as people knew what this was and it was out, that's why I'm not surprised it did as well as it did. Because Peele does have a bit of a following. As soon as they got the advertisements out there, then the crowd is going to show up for it. And horror has a very loyal audience, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's been compared to, and I can't even take that away from him whether I like the movies or not. He's already been compared to the likes of like Hitchcock and shit like that. And I can see that. I mean, I'd probably go more along the lines of M. Night Shyamalan until we get about 5 movies out of him. But hey, that's a fair assessment.
Jordan Peele, Lake in the Water too. Woman.
Yeah.
I think he has good things. A lot of people didn't like his what was it, The Twilight Zone, but I did enjoy not Get Out. What was the other one they did? The one with the clones.
Us.
Yeah, Us. I loved Us. I loved Us. And Nope, I'm probably going to watch because I like alien crap. UFO. I can't help it. Close Encounters, Flight of the Navigator, anything like that. I'm going to be in there, so I'll give it a chance. I can't go through the whole world just saying no to everything. Nobody can. Mm-hmm. We can, but if we constantly keep thinking everything is one certain thing or another because of a certain trigger word or trigger image, we're going to deny ourselves a chance of what could actually be entertaining. And I think that has to be at least in the back of our heads as much as we're trying to fight the message and the way they're trying to do a checklist entertainment value system. And it's not a system of value. It's just a system of consume, give me your money. I don't care about you, but still give me your money.
And I mean, this might be one of his more mainstream films too, if you look at it, because even though it is a more primarily black cast, the story of it didn't seem to have as much weight on the race aspect as like Get Out did. Like that was very much on, it wore that on its sleeves. Like, but
it did, but you knew that going in. I mean,
exactly. Like this one, watching the previews, like I agree. Like it looks interesting. Now, am I going to spend $20 and 2 hours of my life in a theater though? No, I'll wait for it to come to streaming or video, but it is probably the first of his films since Get Out for me, because like I didn't like the look of Us, but I mean I could see people who would like something like that, but that's not my cup of tea just from the type of movie it is.
Well, He's doubling his he's getting a doubled budget for every film. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, didn't Us do very well in the box office?
Yeah, it did pretty good. Yeah, so we'll see where that is. We've got Darius sending us a $1.49 super sticker. Thank you for that, my friend. And we have Ancient Reapers mentioning this, and this is probably the last thing we'll be able to talk about before we
He's
wrap.
got nunchucks. That's all that matters.
There you go. John Wick 4 doesn't look but too bad for 2023. I think it looks amazing. And as
John Wick's not bad.
As Tom said, the most important thing, nunchuck.
I am going to make sure I rewatch every single film up to that release.
I do that all the time.
I got him in Cyberpunk right now, and it's badass. It's weird.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Screw that alternate version they gave us. I had to change it back.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Turo asked a question. This is a good one. What are the typical percentage returns on a comic book, considering the initial investment from individuals and corporations compared to what Oprah's done in this short of time? Well,
honestly,
I haven't been able to do an in-depth study. Tom, you have some idea there?
Well, consistently, if you could sell, I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that, like, for instance, a lot of the Marvel and DC titles as of the last few years, if it wasn't for like the Scholastic systems and shit like that, they wouldn't be making enough money. And or if they had, like, it wasn't until like Marvel and some other ones finally had to break down and do some buyback programs. Like before that, you'd had a lot of sales, but you couldn't really say if those were actual fucking sales or if they were just stores being forced to take those books.
Because comic book stores ended up throwing them in the trash because they couldn't sell them.
Well,
or discounting the fuck out of them.
Yeah. And that was one of the problems is, how Comic-Con and everybody else was able to track sales back in the day. Yeah.
It kind of is the same with toy sales. Like when we talk about how, it's not so much them not selling the toys this time, it's whether or not they'll sign up next time. Right? Because there was plenty of Star Wars stuff for the first movie and some for the second film. But notice by the third film, that was really tapering off. Mm-hmm. Well, that was because they didn't have confidence enough to do a huge amount of merchandise. It's kind of the same thing with comics. I'm sure they do very limited presses of a lot of these comics, which also then causes the cost of each comic to go up. Mm-hmm. So it's a bad feeding into itself kind of thing. But like if you're doing like a printing thing, like just from memory, like if you're printing like multiple thousand copies of certain things, like you can usually get them for a couple bucks a piece. And then by the time you figure the shipping and all that kind of shit that has to go into that, you might clear X amount per book, like say $4 or $5 per book. Yeah. Maybe.
It's all going to depend on how much they're priced at too. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
They're too much right now.
Yeah, everything's too much right now for what you're getting.
No, comics have gone way up. It was like almost it depends on the variant cover, like $6 a cover, $8, $9.
Well, and that's what I was saying too, Stephen, is if they're not printing more, then that means they're costing a lot more to print.
Yeah, they're costing a lot more because it seems that they're just printing more for variant covers than just actual, variant and particular covers.
And that's the problem with the collector's market, right? The speculative market
boom. Yep.
Yeah, that was a huge problem, and now those books are worthless. So you may have first edition of some other book or some stuff.
Well, how much did Ripa say that he spent on his first initial run? Because he paid for his initial run of books.
He spent his own money up to $200,000.
I was saying it's like $200,000 for how many books did he run with that?
I don't remember.
Okay, because I know he's got to run a shit ton more, but my point being is like, well, you can kind of just sit down and factor. Well, he's going to make a hell of a lot more now that he's printing out a lot more this second time around that he knows because it's going to cost him a lot less. Mm-hmm. But that's just it. Like, okay, go back to like they haven't mass produced a comic book in so many years like they used to. Like, you go to any comic book shop and they'll try and give you a copy of The Death of Superman. Because they are so they're worth nothing. Even in the bag, they're worth nothing. Why? Because they were so mass produced. Yeah, it was the biggest selling comic book of all time, or one of the biggest. But guess what? It was also the most produced comic book of all time. Meaning everybody still has 3 copies in a bag.
And one's a mint.
So, that's my point. Is like, I'm not kidding. I went to a rummage sale one time that this guy, he had a comic book shop. He was literally he had 2 boxes, one with the black, one with the white. He's like, take one of each, kids. Everybody who come by, he was giving them away. I'm like, what? You're giving these away? He's like, yeah, they ain't worth shit. I'm like, really? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I couldn't give them away before in the store. He's like, so I'm literally giving them to kids now.
Yeah. Well, and this is this is the same problem we're having with the content that's produced by the streamers and the studios right now. It's disposable, lacks value. No one goes
not
see
timeless. It's made for modern times, which means it's died a year.
There's a value, and the thing is that there is a value in limited runs and limited print runs because that increases in value.
You're right. And Bamagrad talks about this is a good thing. And 100%. If you have not seen the video that Valiant Renegade did on how the box office really works, it's well worth your viewing. And while he and I can disagree on a couple things here and there, it is fact-filled and worth your time. Valiant's doing incredible work on his channel. I love the guy. He's a good friend. So support that man, indeed.
But speaking of limited runs, that's why things that, like the indie comics are always worth so much more, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like a great example. Oh, go ahead.
Not just that, you're paying $10 for what? A 15, 20-page comic when the indie comics you're getting a 50-page book.
50 to 100 pages, depending.
Or a 100-page book for, depending on where you're getting it.
Hey, Tom. Great. Go ahead. I just don't want to miss this thought. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I mean, just mainstream comics, not only is it woke, not only is the story bad, the art is getting bad. It's 15, 20 pages you're paying $10 for. I'd rather spend 25, 30, 40 bucks on a 100-page book with great art, with somebody who has passion for what they're creating and not just,
the thing is that
there's also back issues too, and that's why people are going back into back issues. But you make a good point, Jack. The problem is that new age comics are dead. Like I don't buy anymore, but I used to be the guy that would get every variant cover because I like the variant covers. I would have them pull every week. I would go to the store. I would drop anywhere from $50 to $60 just on variant covers, and I would leave with a stack.
Okay, really quickly, and I hate to cut off this amazing discussion, but we do have to wrap it up. Tom, there's a question for you here from Martin Bishal. Do you have any plans to interview William Shatner? I would love you guys to do William
we've
Shatner.
tried. Like, he doesn't do podcasts for one. That's the first tough thing. And then as far as getting him to do an interview, it is tough. Now, I will never say never, but I would love, he's one of the few that's on that unicorn list. We'd basically have to build our own studio and not be a YouTube channel for him to probably let us interview him.
That's a bummer because he is that would be incredible. I would love to have a conversation with him. I would pay money to have a conversation with him.
Well, and that's kind of what it would probably come down to, and I hate to say it, but it's kind of like just for him to prove that we're legit, kind of like the Doomcock thing with unblocking Doomcock, we'd probably have to raise a buttload of money for one of his charities or something. Then maybe he'd consider it, and even then it's a big maybe. But
he fell into a thing with Red Letter Media. He doesn't seem to understand podcasts or anything close to that.
I don't know.
He's old school.
He seems to be pretty savvy about some things, social media oriented, or whoever's doing his account is. But Kathy, I will honestly have Latino Slant in here anytime he can come in here. I didn't even see that he was available until just a little bit ago, and we're wrapping the show. But as soon as I can get Paulie in here, we will. He is a good friend, and I love the guy. So try to drag him in here and get his amazing opinions on stuff, because they're not always aligned with mine. And that's okay. Yeah. Speaking of things that are okay, we've got to wrap this. So I'm going to do this. We're going to start with the guy at the bottom who didn't get to say much, but got to show off his book and his kids. So hey, what's up, Mirrorsphere?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I was so late today.
No worries. Minisphere. Yeah, that's right. Minisphere.
Yep, right there. Daddy's mini me. So you gotta support indie comics. I know I just got my Rippaverse, the CE one, because pretty much everything else was sold out. I wanted to get a signed one, but unfortunately it was already sold out before I could get it. But yeah, support them. See, this is the latest one I just did, and it trunkles pretty good.
Awesome.
Another thing, I want to real quick. Yeah, you spend $50, but you get so much cool stuff. You get posters, big cards. You get a 50-page book or 90 or 100-page comic, which is 100 times more than what you get at the store from like a crappy little comic. So yeah, it's worth way more, and yeah, that's awesome. And one day, you never know, these guys could be super popular, and their books could be worth a whole lot more, like Ripa.
That's true. Yeah, and I think the 36,000 people so far are going to be very happy that they helped him out. So,
oh yeah,
thanks for being here, brother. Everybody, check out my man's book. Yeah, check out his book, indeed. And bye microphone. Bye microphone. All right, we've got Fat Steven or Justice Siegel. What's going on, sir?
Hi, I'm on YouTube. We just got remonetized on Monday.
Woo!
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
Other than that,
Nice,
we're doing our thank you. Pretty much doing the same old stuff. Right now, we're doing Cyberpunk through GeForce Now. Other games in the process. I'm still under embargo, so I can't talk about them much. But it's been good being here. You can find me on my channel pretty much every day at 10 a.m. Lunch Table will continue when we get the go-ahead. Pop Culture Minefield on Fridays. Wednesdays, it swaps. I'm everywhere and nowhere, but I'm irritating everybody. Thank you for having
me. Thanks for being here, Fat. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's see. Who else rolled in the door? Well, we had AFK Bard. What's up, Bard?
What's up?
Tell everybody what you do, when you do it, and if you're ever going to do it again.
Yeah, no, I'm getting my computer fixed, and hopefully it'll be done this week, and I'll be able to do streams and stuff. I want to do gaming and whatnot, so it's been on my back burner for a very, very, very long time, and I finally just was like, hey, my brother is an IT. I can't believe I haven't asked him about it. So, yeah, I was like, can you fix this? And he was like, sure. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. Can't wait for you to get back in the content game. Speaking of the content game, the man who just returned from a long hiatus, Storyman Jack. You're muted.
I saw that. All right, yeah, I'm writing stories currently right now. I got a Western about to come out. I had a space pirate story came out yesterday. And then I'm going to do another spy story. But the big deal is I'm focusing on a lot of horror stories. I've got about 10 or 12 written. I've got 35 listed that I'm going to do. There's going to be a story, full-length story every day in the month of October for Halloween. That's the plan. I made it 21 days last year before I got sick and burned myself out. So I started early.
Nice.
And I've already got some of them written and ready to go to get recorded. So now that I'm in my office and the house isn't burnt down anymore, I can get a lot of work done. So I'm at 481 subs. If you would like to listen to almost every genre, original fiction, not copied from anyone, check out my channel.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Keep grinding. Speaking of grinding and bumping and grinding, we've got Tom from Midnight's Edge, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Radio, Midnight's Edge Espanol, Midnight Snacks. Right?
It was you on Friday. It was you on Friday.
Of course it was. Mikey knew it too. He just was in denial.
Thanks.
It's called
now
cognitive dissonance. Because he didn't want to yell at me.
I was dying. Friday, if you weren't there, it was Logan. It was hilarious.
Well, you guys didn't figure out it was me. I'm sure Mikey knew it was me.
I knew it was you, but it was,
he just was. He was just. There was no way he was going to yell at me.
It was so good.
He was never going to blame me for it ever. I knew that.
Only in his dreams. Only in his dreams.
Exactly. No, you know where to find me. I'm busy trying to help Andre write a script right now, and it is proving to be a nightmare. But hey, yeah, I do this thing on the internets, and you can follow me like a stalker.
Okay. In the bush.
Well, yeah, and you have a call-in show.
The best thing is if I'm ever like a suspect for murder, I'll just be like, dude, go on YouTube. I'm never not on YouTube.
That's true. You live on YouTube. Speaking of living on YouTube, we have a man who's just shy of 1,000 subscribers. Just shy. He's a very talented artist. He's got a show coming up in the very near future.
Hell, I am about to be under 30.
Yeah, he's closing in, folks.
Oh my God.
These guys need 30, just like what, 32 more to go?
31.
31.
41. In
I
September.
love it.
We got him to 969.
Makini, tell everybody what you're about to do.
Okay, but first I'm gonna say this. I started this like just before the show began, and all it came from was just this mannequin. So I'm back to just kind of getting ideas and poses from a mannequin that I have. But yeah, so it all came from this.
Nice.
Gaze at the dragon sword. It's a little fantasy for y'all. Anyway, I can't thank y'all enough. I am overwhelmed. I'm terrified right now because I'm afraid we're gonna get that last 30 the moment I go live later on. But yes, I did push Makini Live back a little bit late to 1:30, and the reason is because our special guest is one of my closest friends and somebody we all love to death. The sassy Southern Belle herself, Arwen Avalon, is returning, and this is just for her. So she's going to flip when she sees it. Everybody's going to be excited. I'm going to be happy. This is going to be a great Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Like I said, I can't thank you guys enough, and I can't control you guys because I know you guys are going to make that big push. All I'm going to say is I'm going to start crying if that happens today. And I will probably do a face reveal if that happens today. So please don't. But all serious, please don't. I can't think of it.
You don't want to ugly cry on your own stream.
I know. I don't want to mess up the inking.
But on that note, do check out his channel. Makini's awesome. Do go and check out his show in just a little bit. How many minutes are we away now? Not that far.
In about 30 minutes.
There you go. Minutes. Half an hour from now. So check that out. And all right, here we are. We are at the point now where I just want to say thanks for being here, everybody. We had a lot of fun. We had incredible guests. We had panelists rotate in and out. We had our buddy Wes. We had Shellback briefly. Hopefully we get Paulie in here. We got Mr. Fox out there. We might get him in here in the near future. We got a lot of great quality talent in the bullpen, and I have to say I appreciate everybody's support, all these panelists and all of you in the audience alike. Lots of great content coming this week. Lots of videos I'm putting together, roughly scripted out because there's a lot of detail and numbers I'm getting into on all of these things. It's too bad we didn't get a chance to talk about Elon Musk essentially throwing Twitter for a tailspin, but I have a video on Tuesday if you want to look at the tailspin that Twitter's in that probably doesn't have anything to do with Elon Musk. You know, there is that. And then, of course, all the other 8 live streams I'm on my own channel this week, not to mention other amazing places like hanging out with Tom on the regular and tonight's Sunday late night culture stream. You want to check out the late night culture stream. It's after my bedtime. The guests are random. The topics are random. The thoughts are random. And my language is a little more loose because it's
a lot of fun.
If you didn't watch last week's,
man,
watch that before you watch tonight, because last night Culture went full racism. It was hilarious.
We got a 4K, folks. If you didn't see Latino Slant congratulating me, I did hit 4K for the second time.
Nice, dude.
Last week.
Congratulations
there, and it's going to be a good time tonight. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about that, and we'll talk more about just random stuff. I never know what we're going to talk about, and neither does anybody else. So it's just a good time.
let's add extra 0 to that and get Culture to Warhammer.
Ooh, I would love to beat a Warhammer someday, dude. Could you imagine my 40K stream? I'd have to build a cosplay uniform. Would be 40K.
I thought you were going shirtless at 4K.
No, that's a 10K.
No, you said 4K.
No, I did not. No, good try. Anyway,
welcome to my Bikini Bottom stream.
No. As I end every stream, I'll end this one. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it is good hygiene. And until next time,
karate with infinite patience. You and I
Rare people indeed.
And they'll wash your ass.
Oh my god.
See you.
The views and opinions of everyone on panel does not reflect Culture Casino nor its affiliations. Copyright 2022 Culture Casino, all rights reserved.
Disclaimer:
It's the
everything
culture
said
review.
on the stream is
Culture
because of
review.
culture. It is all true.
Culture review.
The stream brought to
Sunday
you by
review.
He wears a big wig. We know it's horsehair, and he doesn't care. That is still
Culture
way
Casino
too
show.
fast. Holy
Culture
shit.
Casino show. Now it's time to go. Culture Casino show. If you have epilepsy, don't look at the screen, please. Culture Casino show.
Oh no.
Culture Casino show.
Damn it,
Taco
Beavis.
Bell. Taco Bell, Tom. There you go.
There's a lot. I have a lot of members now.
You hear culture shaking his head? I do.
You said member.
Oh, but I mean, what do you want
It's
me to do?
elongated.
Man, we didn't even get the Game of Thrones.
Oh my god.
You're still alive.
Aw.
That's what J.R.R. Martin said too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Nice.
Double
Man,
dumbass.
poor George. Speaking of George, wow,
still
man,
alive.
yeah, wait, that's right, he is still alive. All right, bye everybody. See ya.